It has been hard, no doubt about it, but somehow I just carried on. No other place to go, no other way to live. My mom and dad, my teachers, my church told me many stories. But there are many types of captivity, you know, even when there are no locks, no keys, just stories. I was told, obey your parents always. They always do things for your good. If you don't understand it now, you'll understand it when you become a parent. You'll see. I was told, oh, you have so many talents. Hone them. Be grateful for them. Work hard to develop them as far as you can go. Try harder. Do your best. Oh, but don't neglect your studies. I was told, we must battle the human tendency towards laziness. Remember that we can so easily twist any situation to justify what we want rather than what God wants. So don't trust your own analysis or impressions, but listen to your elders. Be vigilant and responsible in your work. Don't be selfish. So many are suffering, and you can do so much to help. And I was deeply taught, you are a very special and gifted little girl. But remember, from those who have been given much, much will be asked. We are to be like Jesus in all things, you know. He gave everything, even unto death. And clever little girl that I was, I reached the conclusion that if I'm not dead yet, then I obviously haven't given enough. Clever little girl that I was, I learned my lessons well. It took a long time to hear other stories, to hear and to believe new stories that have way more than only a smidgen of truth. It took a long time, a long time, a lot of work, and more than a little help from my friends to believe I wasn't all that special, that I'm a person too, that it's okay to be human, to get tired, to have longings, needs, and especially ideas of my own. I often wonder about things that aren't told to us, like who benefits from all those lessons I, and probably you too, learned so long ago. But that's a story for another day. The best news story I know, though, is that the moral of that old one is not death at all, but life, hope, possibility, an invitation to live life and life to the full. For you too, you know. You too.
Okay, so a very short preface. I wrote the poem this morning and I hadn't written anything, I think, since the last time I saw you. And it has to do, I mean, the poem has to do with COVID. It also has to do with the fact that this term I'm teaching medical microbiology. And of course, all the students want to know everything about COVID, all the things we don't know yet. But so there is this bacterial tick-borne disease called Q fever. So it's a real thing. And then there is also this young person that I have interest in, and their name also begins with Q. So this poem is called Q Fever. To think we hugged. Did I imagine that your hand lingered on my waist? My hands wanted to be all over you. Your neck, your face, your lips. It is convenient you only believe in hoodies and track pants. Direct access. No meddling with buttons, zippers. No extra layers. Yes, your arms, shoulders, chest, pure muscle. Hard rock. But I wanted to reach straight for that tummy, hanging ever so slightly over the edge of your pants. Yeah, you work out, but we've shared enough pints for me to know what gave rise to that tummy. I only ever see it when you raise your hands. 2 inches of soft, warm, hairy goodness that I want to caress and scratch and kiss and bite. My tongue was screaming at me, I want that navel. But if I touched it, who knows what would have happened? The only way is down. Do I rip this mask off my face and reach to kiss you? That hand of yours, still on my waist, is telling me you wouldn't pull away. Do I kiss you the deepest I have ever kissed anyone? I haven't had much practice lately, but I certainly have the will. And inhale, lick, and swallow all the COVID and the strep and candida you have to share. You want something to sweep, tongue? Well, here's your cavity. He may still have tonsils, too. How far can you reach? Further than I give you credit for, I know. I didn't do any of that. All I mustered the courage for was to hold the back of your neck for as long as you were holding to my waist. I dare not try to recall who let go first. You said something more, babbling, drunk. I did not listen. My hands were clenched, my pelvis and everything in it on fire. My treacherous tongue, bitten hard, reined in. We hugged again briefly, superficially. You were disappointed. I was already cursing myself with my inner voice for things I knew I was not going to do. I watched you walk away into your sanctuary. I drove back to mine. As soon as I turned the key, I already stopped trusting myself that this even happened. Life is sometimes evidence-based. The next morning, a text from you and the still present tingling in my privates, and evidence good enough. Thank you.
I wrote this in poetry group. It's called Trapped. Sometimes it's so dark and you cannot see, and you wonder how to get through. You pull out a flashlight, but it doesn't work, and your heartbeat begins to quicken. You wonder how long you've been here in this darkness, this unknown place. You try to call out, but you hear nothing. It's like this place is radiating silence, almost like I'm stuck in a trap. My head.
My name's Sydney, and I'm just going to be reading a really short poem. Most of my poems are short, like 3 to 4 paragraphs max. I don't know, I like to get my point across quick, I guess. So I wrote this like a week and a half ago, and I just want to let you guys know that I'm okay now before I read this, because I was like not okay when I wrote this. So it's called Forward. Snow dancing across the concrete, footprints one in front of the other, heels blistered, back aching, keep trudging forward. Change of the seasons, darkness creeping in, a paralysis, endless sleep all consuming, keep trudging forward. The pits of the cycle, a hollow heart, peering over the bridge, don't jump, keep trudging forward.
Okay, so I wrote this poem, it was a couple of weeks ago, and I was in like a few days of really bad anxiety. I didn't used to deal with anxiety that much, but that's my COVID present. I now get anxiety weeks. So anyway, when I was writing this, I wanted to try explain how the anxiety felt in my body at the time, because it's new to me. Even though I'm like living with it now, it's a different type of anxiety and it's new for me. So that was my thought when I was writing this poem. I wanted it to sound the way the anxiety felt in my body. So I've been practicing it, so we'll see if I can deliver it the way I heard it in my head. I love you, 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 I love you. I don't actually love you. It's called infatuation, hope even, that I may have finally found something, someone better. I love you, 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 I love you. It's this drama addiction, my brain's solution to its reoccurring feelings of loneliness. Our brains are constantly seeking reassurance in familiar patterns. I love you, 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 I love you. My chemical romance, a cocktail so strong, it persuades even my soundest logic to be swayed by a hit of dopamine. I love you, 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 I love you. The definition of insanity, running the algorithm again and again, seeking different results from worn out formulas. Repetition creates perfection, doesn't it? I love you, 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 I love you. Rose-colored glasses block clarifying rays, wrapping us in a bubble. In my head, a bubble where you and I actually exist. I love you, 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 I love you. It feels like coming home. It feels safe. You feel safe. It feels like I can finally stop running. I love you, 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 I love you. Under false pretense, I construct the foundations of this fantasy, using smoke and mirrors to create the evidence I seek. I love you, 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 I love you. I do not love you. I do not love you. I do not. I do not. I do not. I do. I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you.
So if you were Catholic or raised Orthodox, you would have been taught the sign of the cross, and that way. And there's something about that my hands just go to that, even though I'm not currently a churchgoer at all. So I've come up with some new words for that. From my head and from my heart and from my listening ears, may I live with love. From my eyes and from my hands, from my sight and from my touch, may I be of use. May I see what's not visible. May I hear what isn't said. May I know hidden truths. From silent tear to colored feathers, may I see both pain and pleasure. May we all find treasure. And from my home to all the earth, from myself to all the people, may we know we're one. That's it.
So I'm actually gonna, fulfill Kat's suggestion or wish, and I'm gonna read my old, and probably my best poem in English so far. The one I love the most.
Okay.
The one I love the most. Over the years, I've had them many. Blonde, redhead, nearly white. Pale tanned, brown, black. I was initiated by a pasty-faced German. All proper, always by the book. What was predictable then became boring. They gave less than what they took. Onwards, I moved to a red-headed Irish. That one was warm, passionate, fun. Each time we met, it felt different. For the money I spent on them, I got a lot of run. The really strong one exhausted me quickly. They'd put me to sleep fast. But they were demanding. controlling, snappy. It wasn't meant to last. Oh, the youngster from Saskatoon. Too bad I couldn't stay. Salty skin, citrusy breath, playful, unique. That's the one that got away. One smelled of smoke, loner, dark, quiet, complex and mysterious, attractive and scary at the same time. I couldn't get serious. The black one was unpredictable. They could go both ways. Challenged my values, my patience, my faith. Sexiest of them all, polyamorous. His elusiveness I couldn't take. One was so bitter. Took time to understand. They were an acquired taste. Certainly exciting. They left me wondering whether my energy would go to waste. Many were generic, lack of character. Same cap, identical outfit, impotent yet loud. If I came across one of them again, I couldn't pick them from the crowd. Some kept me up all night, euphoric. Others with little to do. Over the years, I've had them many. And then I discovered you. From the moment I laid my eyes on your strong body, inhaled your fragrant molecules, tasted your thickness with my tongue, I knew that all I wanted to do is to stay faithful to you. Because you, my dear, are the tastiest beer I have ever experienced.
A hunter as the hunted. Our cat Runza, with fur so fine, had her fair share of cat lives 9. She'd sit for hours out of sight by rodent burrows in the night. She'd stalk her prey, stone statue still. Mice, birds, bunnies, she'd had her fill. A super hunter she'd become, but soon she'd be the hunted one. With hungry pups, a coyote pair set out their victim to ensnare. One cunningly would call and yap like critters caught within a trap. Deceived by decoys, wounded cry, Runza searched for prey nearby. Around her coyotes bared their teeth. Against this pack, tough odds to beat. She fought and bit, her claws dug deep. Pained coyotes yowled in disbelief. They battled on through half the night. Coolies echoed survival's fight. Howls, cries, snarls, a terrible din. Crack, crunch of bones, the coyotes win. 2 coyote pups are satisfied. Our hunter, who was hunted, died. Tomorrow's hunt begins anew. Give your cats an early curfew.
Okay, thanks for the countdown, guys. Okay, this one's called The Silence Between Us. The silence between us is beautiful. This is so much deeper than lust, and it makes me feel so hopeful. You feel like home, a place where I'm free to roam, a place where I'm comfortable to show my true colors. There's no need for any armor. The silence between us is breathtaking. There's a level of trust that feels all-consuming, where I feel loved to the fullest. Could this be a dream? I never felt so safe and loved and happy and free before. A look, a smile, a nod, a kiss, or a gaze. Who knew love could be so simple? The silence between us is breathtaking.
what happened in the barn that night when she and he both sighed delight. Just like most cads, he's gone from sight, leaving her crying in her plight. She skulked about, ate our cat's food, scrawny, mangy, not looking good. She came daily, and there she sat. She ate and ate, but ne'er got fat, till Saddlebag made her slow plod. Crying in pain, she stiffly trod. Behind her trailed a sticky mass, stuck inside her firstborn, alas. To the pet hospital we dashed, with her belly riven by C-section gash, nursing her 4 kittens alone, nurturing them till they are grown. Daily they grew, doubled in size, then doubled again. Truly, lies. On kitten chow, she too filled out. No more a shadow cat skulked about. Her babies were beauties, all 4, black and white Oreo, and 3 more. Thunderbolt, Angora Fluffy, and Golden, colored like taffy. Soon her brood were as large as she. They ran and crept, climbed every tree. Where this formidable pride does roam, ne'er a critter is safe, not even at home.
My therapist told me I use if-then coping, and I do it really well. My therapist told me I'm a beacon for what's possible. If A, then B. If X, then Y. If this, then that. A playbook of how to handle every situation, spent making over 1,000 nights. Hello, how's it going? A cold shoulder. Next person, try again. I love your shoes. Endless rejections, many missteps. When will people like me? There's a pattern you see. I cracked the code. 1,000 nights, adored by many.
Okay. I want to read this one. It was an older one, and I think I've read it before, but one of my friends just randomly gave me a gift, and she made me like a Starbucks water mug, and one of her friends does crafts and stuff, and she took the words of my poem and put it on this water bottle and gave it to me. And I've only, like, she knows I write poetry. She's only read like 1 or 2. And I had this posted on my Instagram. And she just out of the blue showed up and made one for me and my sister and my best friend. I was like, that is the most thoughtful gift I have ever gotten. No, I was just like, oh my gosh. So now it's like my favorite possession that I have, because it was just so thoughtful that someone did that. But
Yeah.
anyway, so I thought of that poem, and I was like, it's a cute one. So anyway, I will read that one. And it's called Coffee. Putting cream in my coffee reminds me of you, because you never liked the taste of coffee and shuddered every time I drank it black. Drinking my coffee black reminds me of you, because I know you hated the taste in your mouth. Too bitter, you said, but you kissed me anyway. I rarely go a day without drinking coffee. I rarely go a day without thinking of you. If it meant you'd be here for one more memory, because mine are beginning to fade, I'd trade my coffee if it gave me a day, if it gave me a chance to taste your sweet lips again.
She is full of passion, full of life. She is smart, bubbly, witty, funny, and a gorgeous, sultry, sexy diva. She can carry a stimulating conversation and leaves you think of every word she said. Her beauty captures your eyes, and her warmth captures your heart. She is a caring, giving friend and a lover everyone would dream of. Once you get to know her, you want to stay with her for the rest of your life. Treat her with the respect she deserves, and be the rock she can lean on when she falls. Tell her how beautiful she is every day. Remind her how precious she is to you and how much you appreciate her. When you do so, she will keep you in her warm, passionate embrace. But be careful of her hot, burning fire. Make sure to give her the space she needs, or she will scorch you until you burst into flames, and you will regret every move you made. Because the out-of-balance fire woman is destructive, and no one and nothing survives in her wake.
Okay, this is one called Crisis Time. We are in crisis time, this whole round world of humankind. The Greeks knew well that crisis in an illness was the hinge point, the crucial point of no return that tipped one towards death's finality or towards a fresh new chance in life. In either case, there is a moving forward. For us today, as in the illness of a single soul, there is no going back, no return to normal as so many people crave. Our future is for us to choose. Will it be death, the end point of the road our so-called leaders want to take us on? Or will it be a fresh new chance at life, a way of living seen by poets, painters, musicians, and bards? It's really up to us. We need new leaders, a new collective voice, a new embracing of togetherness, a reaching out of I into an enfolding us.
Endless days. We greet our friends, stiff, formal, stark. No hugs. We hide. There's something dark between us. It's invisible. It kills. We're not invincible. We stay apart when chance we meet. Distance ourselves by 6+ feet. Appearances enshroud our fears of passing COVID on to peers. We sculpt our eyebrows perfectly, frame upper faces earnestly, while eyes peer out both blind and seeing. Lashes hide our distressed feeling. Bandanas, scarves, and veils all hide my breath, my mouth, my lips inside. My droplets deadly in the air must be contained like something rare. I try to breathe, I gag, I shout. These viruses want to get out. I choke, I vomit. I'm just so mad. I want to scream. I hurt so bad. Much worse, those trapped in long-term care, lone, languishing, no family there, or nurses, docs in ICU, logging hours long to save a few. Slogging through these endless viral days, we long for past and sunny ways. So yes, I'll sport my armored mask, protecting us, its fearsome task. Someday I'll hug my friends again when we've mastered this COVID strain.
All right, so this poem is called Foundation. My foundation is shaky. It makes me vibrate to the top. Not the kind of vibration that makes your back arch,
but the kind of vibration that is uneasy, where the ground beneath you shakes. The lights are blinking, indicating something is wrong. I attempt to triage, but the damage is too extreme. Why didn't I see the warning signs? There are neon signs flashing in different colors, as if you are meant to look at them. Gotta pull through. You've been through worse. Success, money, happiness. Prove yourself. Possible. The design is flawed. I never learned to slow down. I thought it was expected to push through it all, every obstacle. And maybe then I'll be worth it. Maybe the ground I stand on won't be so shaky. Maybe I will get find some stability. I take a step back to examine me. Imagine a block tower, or better yet, an impossibly tall Jenga tower beginning to tilt. It is too late to stop the Jenga blocks from crashing into the ground. How did this happen? It turned out some of those blocks were fragile. They didn't have the reinforcement they needed to make them strong. They hadn't been properly processed. Some were misshapen. What happens when you keep adding blocks to a shaky foundation? Eventually, it topples. Do I even want to put it back together? Is it worth it? I focus on the wreckage. I can't live in all this debris. So block by block, I sand, scrub, buff, and process the past and present traumas away, acknowledging the beliefs I hold about each of the blocks. I find smoothness beneath the rough exterior, as if the negativity is being wiped away. I hug each block to my chest, giving each one a true and self-compassionate belief. This is only the beginning. These blocks are just from the foundation. So there's more to do. Just like renovations take time, so does healing and relearning.
Poetry to me is the sacred language of the heart and soul. It is the raw, uncensored, deep thoughts, experiences, senses that come from my inner core. It is the magical part of the mundane. It is the description of the things not everybody sees and talks about. It is the connection to God, the universe, the moon and the stars, and everything in between. It is the flowers of the spoken word collected into a colorful bouquet. It is the flow of consciousness, sometimes emerging from the unconscious, revealing the unknown. It is the life force pouring out and transforming into words that are an invitation to connect us in a meaningful, sacred, and supportive way.
So I'm going to read a poem that integrates some French in it. And just to give a little context, it's a post-Hurricane Katrina type of poem. It's called Comfort Post-Katrina. It rains hard as I drive from my new home, Grand Coteau, to the old home, Nouvelle Orleans, past abandoned cities of blue roofs, and the air feels très triste. And I stop into a petit café called Café Tranquille. I order, then sit down with du thé, steaming hot, and I squeeze du citron and du miel into my cup. Doucement, I separate the layers of the croissant du beurre from la boulangerie. As I swallow, Blue roofs disappear. Mud puddles evaporate. Never was a storm. There never was a hurricane. Never was a storm that erased thousands of neighbors. No one was ever named Katrina. Jamais. Jamais.
You're back. You offer sexy times. Your efforts are all in vain. Why would I squeeze your juicy glutes when I can caress a glass of champagne? Your invites, milk and honey. To me, they have zero clout. Why would I nibble on your earlobes when I can melt chocolate in my mouth? Your texts lure, all sweet, 2 a.m., leaving me angry, awake. Why would I suck on your magic cucumber when I can stuff my throat with cake? You need to stop. You just don't get it. I want to be nuisance free. Why would I want to have sex with you when I can have sex with me?
Okay, this is a poem I wrote in July, harking back to a memory when we just moved here. It's called Owl. It was already dark. Not knowing our new neighborhood, exhausted from the day's move, we took our dog out for her day's end walk. It was quiet, distant traffic noise, a background hum, a few lights still shining from windows here and there, when with a sudden breath-stopping whoosh, the air was palpably pushed apart right above our heads. A low-flying owl seeking its next meal, swooping down and as quickly departing with powerful thwap, thwap, thwap of wing, fortunately deeming our basset hound too large to qualify. Welcome to the neighborhood.
Little soul, you do you. You explore any way you need. Take it in, breathe it in deeply. Take the chances you need and crave. We were not meant to be limited by these stories, meant to keep us in check. We were meant for greater in small and big ways. Take your time. Don't rush. Enjoy it, this new, exciting experience. Little soul, you do you. Follow your dreams. Find ways to make it happen. Little soul, you do you, but never forget the small things. Never forget to enjoy the small things. The scents, the sounds, the feeling, the way it could taste, and the way it all looks. Little soul, you can do anything.
This is called, and I'm reading from the same manuscript. That's why all the poems will be sort of on the same theme. So this is called French Quarter Railings. Finally, Andrea hears your call, opens the double doors onto her balcony. She leans way over the wrought iron railing, hand-rolled cigarette dangling from her fingers, and she tosses up a loud Caribbean laugh that floats like a striped beach ball at a Grateful Dead concert. She drops the keys into your hands so you can let yourself in through the street level door. Climb the stairs to enter this insomniac apartment with the chartreuse-hued walls and exhausted novels that lie scattered across the floor. Andrea hands you a glass of red wine blows smoke into the air in the second floor flat of chaos and freedom.
This came, I was preparing an evening on the poetry of Jane Hirshfield, and her poem, The Poet, was the inspiration for this. It's called A Blessing for the Poets. May all of us who feel the deep of life, who sense the mystery just beyond our grasp, who love the words with which we ponder, who bear the urge to paint in words the visions, inklings, intimations that come to us, come through us, bidden or not, may we be blessed. May our lives be blessed, our homes, our hearts, our hands, our pens and pencils, blank bits of paper, our waiting keyboard, may all our tools be blessed. May we be blessed with beauty. May we be blessed with light, both within and without. Blessed with eyes to see and ears to hear, both within and without. Hearts to know and a safe place to be. May we who gather here to share the poet's words, to share our words, our longings, our deepest fears, may our gatherings be blessed. May all be richly blessed to have a poet's soul and pour it into words for this world's bettering.
Ode to a tidal surge oblivion, a sonnet. Crashing, splashing, ebbing and subsiding, tides ride high above waiting tourists' thighs. With rub and crack, gondolas colliding, while crowds seek gilded mosaics with their eyes. Now ancient opalescent marbled arcs swim, mirrored in that square, a salty brine. Is this farewell to Byzantine St. Mark's, its fabled bells, ne'er more to chime? Of no use now her ancient sunken fleet, that slashed and gashed enemy hulls untold, with tall spiked masts concealed within the deep. Atlantis, helpless, sees her fate unfold. Yet we persist in carbon spewing rites that'll drown forever Venice from our sight.
This one doesn't have a name. It's really short. It's just in like every day I journal. And I do the Journey of the Heart daily meditations. I don't know if you guys know that book. It's by Melody Beattie. And she literally has things for the whole year. So you could just like jump to one random day in a year. And anyways, on November 14th, the daily meditation was that the light will illuminate your path. And then it goes on with the thing. Anyway, so this is what I wrote in response to it. I want to be in the light, catching as many sun rays as possible, letting the nutrients sink into my skin, seek into my soul to help me grow, to help me heal, feel, and deal with my ego. That one's it. It was really short. And here's another one. I've read it before at Owl Poetry, like right before the pandemic. But I've been thinking about this poem lately, so I'm gonna do it. I also don't have a name for this one. It's about my mom. Mom valued her culture in ways she could. She collected eagles as they reminded her of her family and her grandparents. She was the one who told me eagles were good luck, and even told me she was proud to be Mi'kmaq. I remember when she left one time, the one thing she insisted on keeping was the medicine bag her grandpa gave her. She wasn't even in her right mind. She was high, but it was still so important to her. I admired that about her.
that she valued her culture, a culture that I am still learning about, my culture. And just now, a song came on my partner's radio show. It was Carly B singing, a traditional tribute song for her grandfather. A beautiful song. I could even feel it flowing through me. This song was engineered by my partner, played on the radio by my partner, who discussed what was happening in Wet-Switten, and who cares? This is beautiful. This is reconciliation. This is valuing and respecting another's culture and being an ally. My mom would have loved this. I think she was watching this last week when we were about to leave Calgary. I drank the night before and was feeling exceptionally anxious. We were in the drive-thru at Tim Hortons after seeing my Mi Dada and my Mikaju, and I noticed something out of the corner of my eye. Flying above us, an eagle. Yipo is how you say it in Mi'kmaq. Warmness and love radiate through me. It's my mom, Gisalu. And Gisalu means I love you.
After Hurricane Katrina, all the refrigerators in town turned sour, became Petri dish canisters, cooking raw sides of meat, gently rotting fish, simmering tubs of sour cream. The only thing to do for your internally blossoming fridge was to duct tape it shut like a rancid clam. You must learn to roll it to the street, park it by the curb for pickup. I still dream every night of mountains of closed clams baking in the South Louisiana sun. Think of ripening meats and dented metal boxes bursting with despair.
Small worlds unite when people meet and share their stories. We all have our own story to share. We rejoice when we find a common theme and feel connected by the invisible thread of our common humanity. We listen with the intent to learn and understand when we hear a story different from ours. We want to know more detail, more understanding in areas we can grow. Small worlds unite when people meet and share their stories. And when many small worlds unite, our small world grows and grows and grows until it becomes a unified universe.